They came by the thousands to demand Germany's government change its course in the corona crisis. But for many, the demonstrations in the heart of Berlin ended in arrest. Police say they were forced to make the detentions after far-right activists who marched alongside coronavirus skeptics clashed with police. A small group even managed to storm the steps of the German parliament before being detained. Saturday's demonstrations attracted a wide coalition of activists, from right-wing radicals to those who reject the authority of the German government or doubt the severity or even existence of the pandemic. They were unified by one belief: the government's measures to tackle the coronavirus pandemic go too far. Personally, I don't believe that there's a pandemic. I do think the disease exists, but not a pandemic. Well, according to the new definition of a pandemic, it's a pandemic. But that has to do with how much it's spread, and not with how dangerous it is. Authorities demanded protesters adhere to mask and social distancing requirements during the demonstrations, requirements many participants flouted. A predictable development, says Berlin's Interior Senator.
I
certainly would have liked to avoid scenes like this, because Berlin's police predicted that today would turn out like this, with thousands of people not respecting distancing rules. But despite the arrests, thousands continued their march, a clear sign that their anger is here to stay.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined by our political correspondent, Emmanuel Schaz, who has been following the protest for us. These pictures, Emma, are quite incredible. How significant is it that demonstrators are able to get first past police and then all the way to the doors of the Reichstag building?
Well, it's pretty significant indeed, and those pictures are indeed very striking, very shocking for the German population, and I think worldwide. Interior Minister Horst Seehofer reacted to that. He said that the Reichstag building is a seat of our parliament and a symbolic centre of our free democracy. He also said that it was intolerable that rioters and extremists abuse it for their own purposes. He also went on to salute the police officers' conduct yesterday. He said, I thank the police for preventing that so quickly and decisively, and the state must show zero tolerance and take robust action against such people. So quite a strong stance by Interior Minister Horst Seehofer. However, when he addresses the police's reaction, we can see in the images from yesterday's attempted assault on the parliament, that even if 3,000 police officers were in Berlin, were deployed yesterday, also some coming from other German regions, well, police seemed to be overwhelmed for a moment before they could prevent activists and rioters to enter the parliament. The police spokesperson also said that the police simply couldn't be everywhere at the same time. Also a strong reaction by Foreign Minister Heiko Maas, who said everyone has the right to disagree about coronavirus measures and to demonstrate, but no one, and he stressed that in capital letters on his Twitter account, should be marching behind right-wing extremists, putting police officers in danger and exposing others to the risk of infection. So this is quite an event here in Germany that rioters might try to enter the parliament.
Yeah, incredible. There's so many takeaways, but the number 38,000 demonstrators, is that number now too significant to dismiss this notion that they are only far right-wing fringe groups or anti-vaxxers?
They're not only far-right groups. There's a socially mixed group of people. We've seen in the report people who are worried about the consequences of the measures being taken by the government to tackle the pandemic. They're worried about the impact it can have on their lives, on their jobs. They're worried that it might impact on their freedoms. But the thing is that what we see the most are the most vocal, the most visible protesters, those who are waving German imperial flags, for example, those who are waving pro-Trump or pro-Putin banners. We were talking in the report about the number of arrests, around 300 in total, including 200 that took place in front of the Russian embassy, where 3,000 protesters, right-wing protesters, continued on even after the protest, the official protest, was disbanded. So a group that is not only composed by far-right protesters, that's the minority, but a very visible and a very vocal minority.
Political correspondent Emmanuel Schaz, thank you so much.